Welcome back. Well, it is a modern take on a neo-noir mystery. Sugar is a new series on Apple TV Plus, starring Oscar nominee, one of my faves, Colin Farrell. He is a private detective, John Sugar, who investigates the disappearance of a Hollywood producer's granddaughter. Well, earlier this week, I had the chance to interview Colin about the show. A big O twist in that show that's been making a lot of headlines, and the overall state of streaming and movies. Take a look. I usually hate bland questions like, what did you think of the script when you first read it? But you know why I'm asking. When I thought about the show and the twists and the way it goes, I really did wonder to myself, you reading as many scripts as you have in your life, when you read this, the treatment, what was your thought?
The first thing, Jason, that drew me to it, honestly, was that it was shooting in LA. That was a huge thing for me, genuinely, you know. And you've heard it before about cities and locations being a prominent character in a story. It very much is true in this case that LA was a character in this piece. And I just wanted to be home with family and friends because I'm used to traveling so much with work. No complaints, but that's the way it's been. So that was, but then when I read the script, honestly, it was a genre that I've really enjoyed through the years. Going back to, you know, Mitchum films and Bogey films and stuff, you know, the world of noir, the world of the private detective, but it was singular and unique in that the character at its center had this, he wasn't cynical and he wasn't jaded and he wasn't embittered by all the ugliness that he'd seen in the world. He had this kind of optimism, this belief in the fundamental decency of human beings. And then there was the big twist that happened at the end of episode 6. But I loved the script, and I thought the character had an innocence and was something that I hadn't really explored in this way before, you know. That's always what I'm looking for, something that's different, that's new for me, you know.
Well, and when you're constructing it in your head, Colin, when you're wrapping your head around a character, but let's just focus on this one. Do you take in mind, do you put in your mind the twist, or do you construct him separately?
Within the world, being a subject of the world, of the story, of the narrative contrivances and the character is designed, you're not thinking of it as twist. You have to honor the big picture. You're only there as a character to serve the story. I mean, that's your fundamental thing. You're not there to be a lead. You're not there to be supporting. You're there to be one spoke, etc., etc. But having said that, the twist just offered up for me more questions, which gave me an opportunity then to go into the character and ask, okay, what is his modus operandi? What is his intention? What is his purpose? What is the meaning of his existence as seen through what the audience will call a twist, but what Sugar just sees as his reality? So it's not a twist for him. It's just his fundamental reality.
You know, we're in this era now, Apple TV Plus, Netflix, where as an actor, I would imagine that though movies are great, the structure of the 2 hours or in 3 hours to tell a story, to explore a character. But my goodness, I often ask this of actors now. The era of wonderful television, I bet as an actor, is glorious for you because you don't just have 2 hours. You have 6, 7 hours to explore a singular character. Am I wrong on that? Is it just a great time for these projects?
It is. It's a great time for writers. It's a great time for actors because there's so much output. There's so much material now, and I still fundamentally think there's nothing better than the communal experience of a bunch of strangers sitting in a dark room together.
I'm with you.
I just love it so much, man, and it's the first kind of aspect of love around the art of visual storytelling that I remember as being in the, I don't know, I remember it, but I don't remember the name. It was either the Adelphi or the Savoy Cinema in Dublin. I'm watching E.T. when I was 4 or 5 or 6. And ever since then, just being, as I said, in that kind of, you know, chapel almost of shared experience watching a film with a book. But yeah, it's a great time for actors and writers. There's so many outlets and there's so much material now, and it's a good time for storytellers. And I did this thing Penguin as well, as which was streaming as well, and that was, you know, we got to shoot for 6 months, and it's 8 hours of television. You really do get to get under the hood of characters, and you do in film as well, of course, the 100 years of cinema where we've understood complex characters, but there's room for it all, I just want cinema to stay alive.
Colin, I think it's even more important now because we don't have that many more communal experiences. Everybody is so fragmented, and the way everyone's on their little screens. I think movie houses are even more important now.
I think so too, man. I agree, absolutely. I think it's just such a lovely, innocent and communal way to share in the importance of both entertainment and also like having that little mirror cast back to us every now and then.
That's right. I love him. Saving Mr. Banks is one of his most underestimated roles. A great movie, Saving Mr. Banks, if you haven't seen it. You can stream episodes of Sugar and get ready for that episode 6. That's all I'm going to say on Apple TV+. We'll be back. Stay with us. Back after this. I know. Delish.